back to another special episode of the Make It Make Sense podcast. We are your hosts with the most information. It is one Swayze.
It's also QB, man.
And we're here to make it make sense for y'all today. We have a very, very special guest in the building for our Women Wednesday and Business segment. This is our Women in Business segment on Wednesdays. And I'm so honored to have this guest here, and I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let me get ready to introduce myself. I am Nonie B McKinney. I am a serial entrepreneur, and I'm all about go girl, girl power, girl boss, you name it, and I'm here. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. So you guys, I want to say thank you. You guys have been so professional with me from day one. I will say that the whole process. But I really want to also say thank you again for being two young Black men who are really highlighting women in this business, arena in the industry, because sometimes it's just really hard for us to get the credit that we deserve, honestly, So thank you again.
Once again, that's the reason why we're doing this. We want to highlight you all. It's not just a month of highlighting you all, but our lives, you know what I'm saying? We're here because a woman brought us into this world. So
of course.
Okay.
We got our name from a woman and our game from a woman.
Man, what do you say?
Okay, I said that he's one of the greatest. So that's how that goes. Thank you guys. They say about Women's Month.
Yes.
Happy Women's Month to everybody who is on the live and who is going to be watching the podcast later. Happy Women's Month. Congratulations. Celebrate.
Definitely. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. Once again, just, elaborate on what it is, Nonie B, like you, not the business, but your personality. You.
Me. That's interesting. You know what? I love that question because a lot of times I am asked about the business, and this is a little tidbit that I will tell entrepreneurs. Your business is you are your business, you are the brand, right? So a lot of times I am prepared for people to ask me all these money questions and how do I get my EIN, and they're charging me this, and can I do it on my own, and all those different questions, but rarely about who the person is or how the person is doing. Number one, because one of the main things with my brand is that I teach people how to live a rich life. And I teach people that this is just money mindset. Before I crossed over to being a serial entrepreneur, having 2 best-selling novels out and 5 businesses, before it was all of that, I was just regular Nonie B, just scratching and surviving, just like everybody else. I went to college. I did all the hustle and bustle. I had the jobs and went to school. Before that, I had a tough upbringing, at-risk youth, inner city, like a lot of us. I'm the oldest of 9 kids. We a lot of times didn't have the bare necessities, but it was the drive. And I had to say that because a lot of times amongst my peer group and my colleagues, we always try to figure out what's that thing, what's the it, what is it that that you must find in a person, or that you must pull out a person to take them from being on the low levels or the inner city thinking, to now you up in the big league. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I always try to figure out what is that, and it's the mindset shift. Something has to click. Like, okay, this is where I am, but this is what I'm willing to do to get to the next level. So when we talk about who I am as the person, I'm gonna go ahead and just say this. I oftentimes use this analogy. Working with me and who I am as a person is kind of like being around a LeBron or Kobe. And I know y'all probably like, this girl, she LeBron and Kobe. Yeah. And what I mean by that is so many times I've heard in interviews, like people rarely want to work with them or be on their team. Like they love to win, but LeBron and Kobe got to be the first ones there and the last ones to leave. They got to be there at 4 a.m. They up in there showing you up. They sweating. You done came in at 6 o'clock. They're not sweating. And now they're ready to compete against you. Like, that's always been the type of person that I was, whether it was from a fun standpoint. When I was in high school, I did all these extracurricular activities, did sports, drama club, different things of that nature. So I've always been the type of person who was into those things. I loved it. So it was only natural to switch over into business, you know? But again, I also had those times where I felt like, is it just a dream? Could this really happen for me? You know? So you gotta start there. So I would say as a person, I'm a person who I live my life and I feel like it's important for me to live my dreams so that other people know that it's possible. And that's how I really feel because I come from a long line of dreamers and philosophers. That's what I call everyone in my family because I mean we all have a plan. There's probably not one person sitting at home like, oh, I just want to be a bum and sit around for the rest of my life. No, most people are sitting at home looking at TV, pointing, bingo, that's my call. Oh, I want to go to Dubai. Oh, most people are living like that. Most people, they want something better, but they don't know how to get there. And it's like, I went from being a dreamer to being a doer. And that's just who I am as a person. Whether we having fun, I'm the life of the party. I got the itinerary. I got the plans of what this business. Let's buckle down. Let's get it done. So that's me. That's who Nonie is as a person. Yes, thank you. That's a mama mentality. Yes, thank you.
Well, I love it. I love it, man. I love the comparisons to the King James and Kobe because we want people to know that there are women who are up to that standard and who keep their minds and their selves up to that standard. It's not just these male athletes who are of Excalibur on a different level. You know what I'm saying? So
yes.
I'm excited about this episode, and I think we gotta pay some bills right now, right?
Okay.
Before we pay them bills,
Okay.
I gotta touch on. She said she's a doer, and it's too many times. You run into people that always talk about what they're going to do, or what they want to do, or just like you said, those philosophical people, right? they got but the action comes with those thoughts as well for that to be a reality, and that's what you put into motion. You put those dreams that you wanted and put them probably on a vision board. I've been watching you.
Yes, I love vision boards.
Right? And manifested that. And so certain things you just got to do. You just got to do. And then whether you fail, whether you succeed, fail, or learn from it, right? Everything is a learning experience. Whether you do succeed in it or you don't, but you learn from it ultimately. So, hey, kudos to you on being a doer.
Thank you. I truly appreciate that.
We do talk about that a lot, QB. I'm glad you touched on that. That's great.
Every person that's came on here has said, I leaned out on faith and I did it, or they're doing it now, right? And they're going to not on faith. So it's just something where people see that to be entrepreneur, to be a serial entrepreneur, you got to do.
Oh yeah.
And
and it's every day.
It's
every day, and that's something that I would also like to highlight because when I started my first business, I kind of thought, hey, once I start this business, I'm going to be rich. And I started that business, and now I'm like, y'all want me to do the work? I gotta do most stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you in fairy tale land, you in la la land if you really thinking that once you get to that next level that it's over.
Right.
No, you might as well buckle up because you just signed up for the next level. Okay. And so that's a new challenge, right? Yes. And so it's like when you talk about the vision board, I'll touch on that real quick, and then but don't let me forget to talk about it more later because vision boards was something that I first tried in 2013. And to be honest with you, it was just on a whim at a birthday party, one of my birthday parties, because I always throw these events. I'll invite you guys next time. But with my homegirl Courtney, shout out to @Coco Peaches on Instagram. Her board literally was the most beautiful board out of all of ours. And that's tough for people like me to say because I like mine to be the best. But hers was amazing and literally everything came true. Like she had a lady up there with a suit on, very distinguished, and she said she wanted to get a raise at her job. She ended up getting a $3 raise and also got promoted to being a director of operations. We randomly were picking islands and vacation locations, and she put Turks and Caicos. We ended up going there the following summer. Like she put this gray Toyota Camry. she ended up getting that car. And we were just like, it was like so surreal when I went to her house and I saw the board up on the wall where she could see it every day and manifest every day. Mine was somewhere thrown in a closet. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else, some of them left theirs at my house. But Courtney took hers and did what she was supposed to do, and it sat on the wall, and she saw it every day. And everything on the list came true. I said, no way. No way. So now I am like super heavy on promoting dream boards, vision boards, and just having your plan laid out so that you can see it regularly. That's a big deal.
Lit.
Yeah, that is so important. So important to write it down so you see it every day, or put it up so you can see it every day. People don't know. People don't understand.
Yeah, that's definitely some good knowledge for the youth and the young entrepreneurs out there, honestly. Yes. But yeah, we do got to pay some bills, Ways. I'm sorry, we went over a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Attention content creators, do you have a great podcast, short film series, and need a home to show it to millions of households, plus countless smartphone users? Streets TV is hip-hop for the world. Contact us at streetstvworldwide@gmail.com or follow us on Instagram at streetstvworld. It's Streets TV, hip-hop for the world.
And we're back. Once again, our special guest is here. We have Nonie B McKinney in the building.
Thank you.
My first question for you, Nonie. Yeah. Where are you from?
Okay, so I am from New Orleans, Louisiana. And of course, you guys remember Hurricane Katrina. After that, my family relocated to Atlanta, Georgia, or was displaced. However, they was calling us refugees for a good little while. We are American citizens. Okay, so after that, I would just like to say that my family moved to Atlanta, and I just really feel like that was a blessing in disguise because everything just kind of took off for me. I remember being a young kid in New Orleans, kind of like telling people my dreams, family, friends, whoever, and everybody was kind of like, okay, but what do you really want to do? Like, what would be your real job? And it kind of like, it kept rubbing me the wrong way because as I got older, I went on, I took the civil service test so I can go get a government job or something. I mean, you try to get to the post office, those are things they tell you, get you something with some benefits, okay? So it was like, but this energy, this passion that I had for entertainment, it just kept calling me. I knew that was something more that I had to do. So it was like going to Atlanta, I was around a lot of other creatives, young people in school who just, I'm going to take over the world. Those type of things. Oh, we're going to the top with it. We're going to Hollywood, so I got a chance to be around that type of energy. I grew up in an entrepreneurial household, but that was not like taught to us. And I make sure that I highlight that every time I talk to people because there was a long line of business owners before me in my family. I can never sit up here and say I'm the first one that completed college or I'm the first one that opened a business, but no one taught me anything. No one, you should go to school. No one, you should look into this business. You should, I need to say that to parents because a lot of times you have something to offer your child. You have a direction that you can lead them in, and you more or less drop the ball or don't realize it. And that's how a lot of our kids get lost or caught up in the system because the system has a better plan for them than we do. So that was what was hard about growing up and not really having someone that understood because they should have understood. A lot of them came from the same type of background of being a freelance entrepreneur and wanting to go for your own goals, but they really didn't respect it the same way that what I do. So in Atlanta, I went to Georgia State University. Well, that's where I finished. I went to the Art Institute at first because I was going to school to do film. So film and video, mass communications, that's what my degree is in. And then I actually went into radio for a little while, doing exactly, what you guys are doing. So, but all of that was just a stepping stone, obviously, to the film because I'm a writer and I write scripts for television and movies. And so once I got a chance to transition from radio to film, like everything just took off. I came to California. I worked at Warner Brothers Studios on this show called The Real. It's the Real daytime talk show. I stayed there for a year. But while I was there, I had a whole new plan. I was like, look, I know you really love this entertainment. I know you have these big dreams of writing these movies and all this stuff, but you need to get a real plan. You need all of those things that people have been trying to tell me for a long time about this real job idea. I was kind of understanding, because in entertainment, especially freelance, it could be a bit sporadic. You working you might be working 6 months right here, and then 3 months go by, you ain't heard nothing, and that's how it was. It was sporadic, and it was becoming a hassle for me, to the point where I felt like, oh, if I can't keep these gigs coming in consistently, then I won't be able to be in this world. So the only way for me to fix that was for me to open up a business that was going to provide sustainable income for me to still be committed towards my passions. And that's what happened with me opening a trucking company, and I always have to shout out Nipsey Hussle, because after I opened my trucking company, I first learned about him while I was still out here doing my passions. And he was like, look, I've been doing this music for a long time. I've been selling mixtapes out the trunk of my car. But at the end of the day, I had to get for real. That wasn't making no money. That wasn't going to feed my family. That's something that I love. So he started doing his real estate in Atlanta. He started doing his hair company, things of that nature. He bought that lot over there where Marathon store was. He owned the Fat Burger on the side of it. So we realized that we want to take care of our family. We don't want to be starving artists, but the artistry will never die. Our passion for entertainment will never die. So that's it. I could talk. I got 2 books out.
Hey, we should have had her on the joint yesterday.
I was thinking
with our underground artists. We do an underground artists every Tuesday. They come on, do their thing, and we expose them to different people. So, but yesterday we talked about Nipsey. And
okay.
Yeah, one of my favorite artists, and we had an artist from the West Coast on. So we were able to see the same thing that you were saying, how Nipsey was a very big influence on that culture out there, business and music. So for sure.
Yes. And let me tell you one key difference, and I have to say this because I know you guys are in Atlanta, and I lived in Atlanta for a while. Black business, like I'm from New Orleans, and when I went to visit recently, I took my husband with me. He's from here. He was like, dang, everywhere I go, like there is a business set up some way, somehow. Like somebody that went to an auction and bought some cars. They done made a deal with the gas station to leave the cars there while they sell them, so he's seeing all this type of stuff. And he's just like, wow, Black entrepreneurship. And I'm like, okay, well, if you like that, then Atlanta is on steroids with it. But it's one difference that I noticed from Atlanta and LA. And that was, in Atlanta, you need an investor. You can look for, sponsors. You can look for people who believe in your business and want to be a part of it, invest, help you get to the next level, get from the ground up with the startup. In LA, they come straight out the gate. Put your money where your mouth is. I'm going to invest in me. They own a Dame Dash type of time. If you're a boss, put your money up. Yeah, we need investors, but we about to go out here and grind and put the money down for our own stuff. And so once I got to that point out here, I used to be afraid to invest in myself. But if you're afraid to invest in yourself, it might not be a good investment. Okay? So I went and put the money down and watch it. You get the bag and fumble it. I get the bag and flip it and tumble it. Oh, you guys. So that was the biggest thing. And once, I got to tell you guys this. So with the trucking company, thank you. With the trucking company, I initially started it with my brother. And I hate to even tell y'all this story because this is the story I try to sell my book, Things I Learned from White Folks, reporting live from my seat at the table. I talked about it in the book, obviously, because when I first opened my trucking company, it was something that my brother and I had talked about. He had a CDL for a long time. This trucking is something that's in our family. So, and I will be getting my CDL soon because I'm tired of these drivers thinking they going to tell me something. So now I'm going to be a big truck driving, So it's like, okay. So, my brother, he wanted so bad to just come from under working for other people. And I was like, yeah, because, that's the type of time I'm on. I can't take it, So I got a little money to put towards this. You say you can do that. Let's come together and make something happen. Oh, y'all. So we came together and it was glorious. It was so amazing. Well, what happened was pocket watching too soon. Like you making 40, 60 grand in the first 2 to 3 months that you're doing business, but you worried about what your partner making. Like that's a lot. That's a lot of what be going on in our community that we have got to stop, right? To the point where it was like, we passed words, he tried to take the truck, hold the truck. Like it was crazy. The book, Get the book so you can find out what happened at the end. But I was down. My company was down for a little while. And during that time, I wrote the book. And also during that time, I started Tenants of the Treehouse. And that ended up being my second company because I was just like, look, if this is sitting idle right now, I need something else that can make money. What else do I know how to do? And I have to make sure that I tell y'all that because look, I was down. I wasn't out. I had to clear out some paperwork, get people around that weren't supposed to be around and start over again, But at the same time, I was down, but I was not out. I just found something else like, okay, well, I'm going to do this. So in the midst of going through that tough time, I wrote down everything I knew about business when I was eavesdropping on them white folks. And I put it in a book and boom, that blew up. So it's like time and time again, when the enemy, no matter who the enemy is, in spirit or in flesh and blood, every time they rose up against me, I had to cut up on them. You thought I could never lose. What you thought? Right? So, and that's everything just kind of like spiraled from there. Now I have a book. I already work in entertainment and do a lot of writing. So now I'm doing press releases, press kits, one pages, pitch decks. I'm doing all of these things for people. And that turned into La La Land Media Services that is connected to now the Turning Page Publishing. So it's like all of these things I did as a child, all these things that I had a passion for that was already in my heart, they turned out to be money makers.
Check that out. And all you did was stay down and stay the course, not give up. I'm happy that you said you got, you were down, but you weren't out.
Right.
A lot of people feel like once one thing goes out the window or they go down or they feel like it don't go their way,
they
want to take off or they want to just toss it and lose it. So I'm glad that you said that because you stayed with it, you stayed persistent, you stayed confident in it. And I love the confidence that you have in yourself and your brand is perfect. It's flawless and it's definitely going to take you far. I can see longevity all through it, in any endeavor that you put your mind to and that you put in.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a great thing to see, like I said, you and, just women who come from, a hard background, not like you say, it was 9 children and not really, having everything that you needed initially. But when you started moving and grooving, things started to happen. God started to open the doors.
Yes.
And you stayed with it. You stayed consistent. Like you said, you went and dibbed and dabbed in every other thing. And then you finally got that spark and it came.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's important. So how important is it, would you say, with the transitioning, as far as being in entertainment and now you have a successful book that just took off? How is that transition?
Oh, this is crazy. You know why this is crazy? Because I still work in entertainment. There's actually a big show that I can't say their name right now, but they just reached out to me to be a producer on the show, y'all. And yes, this is one of those money and finance shows. And I have the stock course now, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. So they just reached out to me, and it's like they asked me the same thing. So if they, can take me on as a producer, how would being a serial entrepreneur be affected? How would that affect everything? Would I be able to do it? And it's like, of course I would, because that's what I came here for. Like, I never really did transition out of entertainment, because like I said, with the books, that brought it back up. With all of the videos and things that I do on social media, that keeps it alive. But that's also a part of my brand. Why it would never go away is because I promote edutainment. Everything that I talk about, I try to do it with a flair, a funny way, add some music, whatever, because our people, our people love entertainment, and if our people don't love nothing else, they love entertainment. And it's like a lot of the entertainment that's out right now is toxic, and our people don't even understand it. So it's like, for me, I realized that I want to teach my people, but my people mainly can't get the information because it sounds like clear eyes, get red eyes. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like a mutual fund, a mutual index. It sounds crazy, right?
Yeah.
So that's why my people aren't get it. But when I add the hip hop flair to it, or I add different sides of our culture to it, that's what makes it stick for my people. So for me, edutainment is key. And I would say, as far as like transitioning from being a freelance entrepreneur to actually having your own business, is, again, what we said about the everyday thing, because in film, I may work a show a whole year, or like I said, 6 months, and then we go on hiatus for 3 months, right? And it's just like you have that downtime. Some people go out the country, some people do it. So it's like I've had moments as an entrepreneur coming from that life where I'm like, okay, well, I didn't work 3 days. Don't I need 2 off? You know what I'm saying? I done worked 6 months. Don't I need this much time off? So it was a big transition, because when you work for people, you like, oh, I'm tired of working. Oh, my head hurt. Like my brother, like, he didn't want to work for anyone, but he had never taken the time to learn how to be a boss. Like, you're an employee type of person. You're lazy. You're not a self-starter. Like, you need somebody to throw something to you. You know, no disrespect to him. You know, I'm just saying, like, if you're that type of person, when you're working for someone, you want to complain, but that's easy. Because when I used to work for people, I just used to show up every day and just and, you know, filing my nails, looking on my phone, going through social media like there's nothing to do. Like, you just working whatever this job is. Hey, boo, you working whatever that job is. And at the end of the day, it's like you go home and you do it all over again. But when you are an entrepreneur, every day you get up, you got to crank that yang. Because look, all kind of shit be going crazy. You like, now look, I thought this is going to be cool. Like when I worked for other people, I just went up in there and did the same thing and it worked out. Yeah, you did one thing. Now that you were in the business for yourself, you might have worked at the call center. You might have been a CSR, but now you own the business. So now you got to do acquisitions. You got to hire people. You work at the call center. You escalations if it needs to be sent there. You know what I'm saying? You season's greetings. If I got Walmart, I'm Walmart greeter. I'm stopping at night. Loss prevention. Like, oh my God. It's like you go from being one thing to everything.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
And then on top of that, there's nobody to say, what you want me to do about this? Yes. You can't say that to yourself.
Yes.
You know, what you want me to do about this? You have to figure out what you need to be doing about this. Nobody else. You can't call your manager. What do you do with this, man? You the manager. You the CEO.
Yes. So, and sometimes that's hard. Imagine just being out there, like you damn near, like we say, leap of faith. So that's like you leave shore and you get in the water, and now you in the middle of the water. And you're just looking like, damn, like, which way is the wind blowing on this motherfucker? I don't know where I am. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure that everyone goes through those moments, but I'm telling you that business owners for sure, entrepreneurs for sure, all the time. That's what we go through. You know, and at the end of the day, you work through it because it's worth it. What you're doing is worth it. The longevity, the long run, your family having these things, you living life on your own terms, because at the end of the day, it's about the freedom. A lot of people are not going to make the millions. A lot of people will just, 6 figures is 100,000 to 999,000. That's 6 figures. You could be in the low, you could be in the high. You could touch $1 million, but then is that gross or is that net? It's different things. I read an article one time where this young man was a millionaire with zero cash. He had $1 million in assets, and he was the things I learned from white folks. So it's like, who else? Ain't nobody in our community really teaching us that. I love that more of our community really starting to do their thing, because I'm seeing everybody now, and we teaching each other. That's what we need. That's what we need, and we need more people to be listening. So yeah,
definitely a great thing you said. It's important to come together and want to do something and better the community, better our people, and enhance our culture, empower them with the knowledge in order to succeed, and set up these financial literacy classes or whatever it may be, these seminars, in order to teach people how to invest their money and where to put their money and what to do to have that foundation, so your children's children don't have to go through what our parents went through or their parents went through coming up. They have the tools to be able to access to do what they need to do. And in a manner of the fact that, growing up in an entrepreneurship background, what I'm saying? They're able to take those skills and go far with them. And like you said, that's what they do, and they spread that that whole timeline years and
Yes.
years and years and years.
Yes.
So why can't we do the same? You know?
You know what? That is just so crazy to me because I'm still seeing it. You know how I said I never, my family didn't do what I feel like they should have done with the businesses. My husband even said it like his father worked at Raytheon forever. And that's satellites and all that stuff because he was in the military. And it's like, but you were making 100K back in the 90s. So even if your son didn't really know anything about it, he could have got in on the ground level, entry level, and started learning. But of course, I don't know what it is about us that we don't think about it. I even say that in things I learned from white folks. Like before one of our counterparts' children get here, because it's not just white folks, it's Asians, it's everyone. But specifically, if we're talking about things I learned from white folks, if let's say Jason and Beth are having a baby. Okay, so Tyler is going to be here in just a few months. They've already made up his room. Tyler has nothing but, let's say, firefighter pictures around in his room because they would like him to be a firefighter. They might have something on the side, a baseball. Maybe his father had a baseball when he was small, or his father did, or they just put one in there. You know what I'm saying? His name, some pictures from the family, all of these things, because why? They have a plan. They have an idea. Now, I completely go array. Tyler may not even like any of that, but he had a start, and it's like with our children, you asking kids what they into, what do they like? I don't know. Like, what do they like? Social media. Okay. Are you going to teach them how to be a social media manager? Because we can teach them how to do something, but you just can't sit by and let them go astray. And I saw my sister on here and we talk about this a lot because my oldest niece, her father, he owns a business. He has a restaurant. And we always just like, well, this happened just one day, like an epiphany. There's a moment. Come on out, black people. There's a moment. We're just sitting there because when, my sister was in that relationship, she was always there running the cash register and interacting with the people. She was very much hands-on. And I used to see my niece there with her all the time, just looking over her shoulder as she's doing the cash register. But now, ever since my sister is not involved directly, my niece never goes to the restaurant. My niece should be there every day learning that business. And that's something that we talk about in our family. Like, come on now, brother. What are we doing here to where you are this person? You're a mastermind that you can come up with this type of business that the people of New Orleans love, but it never dawns on you that I'm going to teach my seed how to take over this. Like, we keep missing the ball with that as a community. I don't know if it's because we don't believe in the next generation or we don't want to see somebody get ahead of us, but it's hurting us. And that's why with me, I have Dream Life Academy. Dream Life Academy is my summer mentoring program that I'm looking to turn into a year-round program, especially since coronavirus hit and we couldn't do the camp that we usually do. So now I'm taking it virtual. But at the camp, and I'm going to tell you how my thought processing has gone with it, because I love the children and I'm reaching out to children who kind of like grew up how I did, didn't really have much, just trying to get inside their head before the rest of the world does and give them something negative, right? And so I'm talking to them and I'm like, you know what? In this camp, we do a lot of art, but I'm realizing somewhere along the way, y'all not being taught life skills. Y'all not being taught how to clean up after yourselves. Y'all not being taught how to prepare little 30-minute meals. You guys are not being taught how to have an appropriate relationship with someone of the opposite sex or gender. These things are not being taught. So I had to sit back and revamp my programming. And now that I have always bet on black and I have my stock course, Wolves on Black Wall Street, I have had yet another epiphany. Why not take with my program, start doing a career assessment with my kids when they come into my program? Not just, what do you want to do poetry? Or do you want to be in a dance class or the music class or whatnot? No. It's going to be vocational now. It's going to be based on career assessment now. We're going to be teaching you about the stock market now. We're going to be teaching you about these things because our youth are not getting it. They're not going to teach them that at school. They didn't teach us that at school. But somebody, I'm not going to say they really taught me that at home, but a couple of people was talking about it at least. You know what I'm saying? So nowadays, I don't know if the parents are saying anything at all because you got to remember, our generation is the parents now. So I don't know if we just sitting around watching reality TV or we on social media while the kids running around, but somebody got to grab a hold of them because they're our future. They're our new entrepreneurs. They're going to be the new people to carry the community, to carry the culture, So that's why pretty much I do what I do.
Wow. So important. So important.
She said a mouthful.
She is definitely.
She's spot on with everything, though. I can't.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
Every statement. I want to touch on one thing. So I know, like, that growing up in a certain type of family, right? I know, like, sports is a thing that a lot of people kind of gravitate towards, right? And but also, it's this thing about almost like sports running your family. Well, why not engineering running your family, or lawyer running your family? You know what I'm saying? Like, I, I was an athlete in school, but I also was like, I want to be more than an athlete. Like, I'm doing my work in school because I want to be more than just a good basketball player, right?
Exactly.
And you have your friends that's looking at you, and they're like, "Come on, man! Like, talk. While the teacher tell you not to talk and stuff like this." I'm like, I'm listening to the teacher. Like, what you want me to do?
Right.
I'm trying to learn, but in today's world, it's the same way. People don't agree with going in a certain direction. They want you to stay on this line that the government, like you were saying, like the government wants you to kind of stay on, or you can't be different. If you're different, until you actually pop, that's when they pay attention to you. But prior to, you're just like, oh, you're just another dreamer. Oh, you're not gonna do anything. Oh, But
yes.
But after that, though, but once they see, oh wow, like, oh, you had XYZ on your show, or you had this other person on your show, and then the views start coming in, and then it's like, oh, now you see what I've been trying to tell y'all. And
now it's popular to support you.
Right. But now I've been supporting you the whole time. You know what I'm saying? But they really haven't. And it's crazy when you get into that whole little debate. But yeah, I think, growing up, and if you are in like an entrepreneurship type of environment, it definitely would benefit a person. My son is, I show him everything I do. I got a beard oil company. He does sometimes the beard oil with me, and he's only 2 years old. So I just, even though he probably won't remember this moment, I think it's a building block for other things, right?
Of course.
Playing different sports, playing different like instruments, things of that nature, right? Just being well rounded. And then yeah, man, I don't know, not to talk about him, but I don't know why the person that has that business isn't using his seed to, be the person behind him, because you don't want nobody else outside your family to run that business. Otherwise,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the person, if anybody, that's the person I would want to run my business. She's been with my business since she was 10 years old. She's 20 years old now. She's 21 years old now, and she knows everything about my business. Why would I want somebody else to come in that's only probably looked at my business for a year, maybe 3 months, and try to run it? That's crazy to me. But
that's crazy. That's crazy, because my niece is actually 10 right now.
Wow. And I want to piggyback off of that too, because it's funny that you all say that, because I know, as our nature, you know what I'm saying, and just who we are as a culture, African Americans, it's like one of those things where I feel like we want to see if they really want it first, instead of just gifting it and showing them. It's more so.
I've heard that.
I need to see that hunger. I need to see if they are driven. Is she gonna come up here? Not just use her for an example. Is she gonna come up here without her mom being here? Like, what type of drive?
Right.
And I feel like it can be a balance with that. I feel like it's more so, let's put them in position to win, and then let's see how the results come out. I don't feel like it needs to be a pre-vamp or pre-assumption to make that person, what is it? Not like, you know what I'm saying, jump into something and also just kind of want to push them to that level. I feel like it should be something where it's more so not a gift, because you don't want to just give anybody anything, but it's more so, I want to say a blessing, you know, but at the same sense, it's kind of like, I don't want to challenge you. I want to just put you in this position and let's grow. I seen you do it when you were younger, so let's run with it. Let's see how far we can take it. And if you do take it over, I'm happy with that. But I also see that a lot in our culture as well. You know, we want to see who really wants it instead of putting them in that position.
Oh my gosh, y'all! Look, somebody said something about that's so Raven. Corey didn't want to take over the grill, and that happens too. Right. Kids don't want to, but at least you prepare them, because at the end of the day, they can go do something somewhere else.
There you go.
You know, and it's like, for me, what you guys are saying is true, but it's like, it's such a catch-22. It's so much with it to where you want to see their drive, or because with my stepmom said this one time. She was like, she had a tax business as well, so it's like, okay, with her prosperity family tax, she was supposed to teach it to me. She never did, whatever. And her thing was, you guys was always moving around. You were in Atlanta, you went to school in Atlanta, blah blah blah. You came back to New Orleans briefly, and then you were off because when I was moving around with the film. But the thing about it was, I kept leaving because you guys didn't have anything for me to do. Like, if I was young, 18, and they started teaching me, or even before that, and they put me into the tax business, then I would have still been doing that. So at the end of the day, or at least if I had gotten to the point where I was like, okay, I'm ready to try my passion. Look at me now. I opened up a trucking company. I have a publishing company. I have my spiritual store. I would have done nothing but continue to franchise her tax office.
Exactly.
You see, when you're limiting me in your mind, you don't know what I can do. Give me a chance, you know? And it's like when we said about what runs in your family. You know what? A lot of times, like you said, the sports run in the family. Unfortunately, in my family, the business doing run in the family, but being able to maintain and to stay on, do not. Now, I'm not going to say, I would say maintain to the level of they all had their businesses for 30 plus years. But as I can say, it was, if your business on the living check to check, what's the point? Right. And it's like, a lot of times they had great times, and a lot of times, then other times it was just check to check. And it's like, that's why they never taught us anything, because they never got to the point where they really mastered it. I'm not 100% sure, but I know that that's something that I did notice and that I pay attention to. So in my family, whatever that's called, where you have all these big dreams, and even some people make them happen, and then they come crashing down because, like I say, you just got excited to get to the mountaintop. You never thought about maintaining your position. Mm-hmm. So that has run out. You know, the buck stops here, because now I'm building these businesses to last generations. I even talk about in my book, Paris Hilton. Why do we even know Paris and Nikki Hilton? We only know them because they were the heirs to the Hilton family hotel legacy. You understand? The franchise. So that's why we know them. And who did that? Their great grandfather. He did that in one generation. You understand what I'm saying? You can do it in one generation. So it's like, that's why we know them. And we know them because at the end of the day, we don't know if, well, we presume and assume that they are not that smart. But obviously, coming from that kind of background, you got to have something going on upstairs, especially if they talk about leaving something to you. Half the time, other times they just put it in a trust and let you just go on about your business, because you ain't all the way together. But it's like, you know, a lot of times, like, these women are smart. Paris Hilton said she don't even talk with that funny voice or whatever. Like, she just was playing a role. Like, the thing about it is, you have to get in. You have to find the thing that you love. Even if you were somebody that played football, this is what gets me upset. And this goes back to the persistence and being able to pivot. You might have somebody right now, people from high school, still talking about all what they was doing. You was prom queen. Everybody loved you. You was a model. Okay, what are you doing now, right? You had the guys, they played basketball, they played football, they wanted to go pro, they never went to the league. Okay. So maybe now you're 30, maybe now you're 40, and you can't keep wallowing in regret about you never went to the league. They got front office jobs. Go to their website, look for careers. Water boys make 50 grand. Like, a lot of times people get stuck on stupid. You know, it's like with a job can pigeonhole you. It's the same thing that we do to ourselves in everyday life, feeling like if we don't have this one thing, then we settle. Oh, that's not what life is about. Life is about how you keep on going. That's what life is about. So when it comes down to business, you just got to look at it from the standpoint of life. You're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad. But for the most part, when you see that money coming in, you're going to be out of town. You're going to be on vacation.
Yep. You're going to love it.
Yes, exactly.
You're going to love that you put the hard work into it. So,
yes.
Y'all, the conversation is going, I mean, tremendous. But we do have to take a break. So we will be back. We pay some bills, but stay tuned, please. Don't go nowhere.
We got
Spanglish, the only thing you need to season your food with. Get yours today.
That's why I dance. That's why I dance.
And we're back. Shout out Spanglish Foods.
Oh my gosh, y'all got some bomb commercials. I can't even.
She's actually doing her thing with the spice, man. Y'all follow her, Spanglish Foods Incorporated. Definitely been a great conversation once again. And it's once again it's flattering to kind of hear these, this information, these gems that are being dropped today, QB, and from such, someone of that status that's just on a whole nother level, man. It's amazing, man.
Thank you.
Kobe LeBron, man.
Yeah, man. And like she's been saying, you got to take those shots, man. You got to take those shots.
Yeah.
Please, everybody want to talk about shooting a shot. Shoot your shot in life.
There you go.
Shoot your shot in life. Like I said, I teach people how to live a rich life. So basically, this is what it is. It's a lot of stuff going on in the world. Turn the goddamn TV off. Put the phone down real quick. Unless you're using the phone to watch this. But on any other day, I need you guys to go ahead and quiet your mind as we talk about King James. And so I'm on a commercial for the app called Calm. So go ahead and quiet your mind. You can understand this. Now, out of everything that's going on in the world, we could break it down into the top 5 aspects of life. And these are in no particular order. This is just the order that I use. So that's number 1, business and finance. Everybody got to make sure their business is on point. You handling your business, your finances is right. So what? We just pay some bills. That's what we did with that commercial, right? Okay, so we got to make sure that business and finance is always handled, right? So then you have love and relationships, number 2. I'm married. You talked about your kid. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about families. We're talking about friends, even the people that may be your business partners, right? Then you have 3, your health and wellness. And that's what you're eating. We're talking about consumption on all levels, what you're reading, what you're watching, what you're listening to, So then you have faith and spirituality, because no matter what, when all the rest of that is gone and you strip down to your bare self and you naked as the day you came into this mug and you down on your knees and you crying, don't none of the rest of that matter except for who your faith is in to come and pull you through, right? And so developing a relationship with God at a young age, I say, has done a great job for me, and my spiritual store does well too. So tenantsofTheTreehouse.com. Okay, it's shameless plug. So, gotta put that out there because God make a way out of nowhere. And as the Bible says, your talents and your gifts will make way for you. Okay, they will make room for you. You follow your passion and your purpose. You do what God needs you to do. Okay, so it's like then you have number 5, which is travel and leisure. Travel and leisure, because I believe that travel is the only thing you pay money for that makes you richer. Every time I go out of town, every time I go to another country, like my mind just expands. And once your mind expands with that new information, it can never go back to this whatever smallness may have been there. So again, that's the top 5 aspects of life: business and finance, love and relationships, health and wellness, faith and spirituality, and travel and leisure. Write those things down. Make sure that you are focusing on, is this good? Okay, what I have to do to make that good? Is this love? Yeah. Is this area of my life good? And if those areas are good, you feel rich. you feel rich. I'm telling you, and once you start putting that energy out there, like, damn, I feel rich, I feel good. The money's because it's energetic, it's a frequency. Okay, money is nothing but an energy. All you have to do is get on the same vibrational level, the same frequency as money, and then what? Ching, 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 money comes to me. You saw my video. You saw that mantra video. Yes. Look,
Yeah.
write a book.
You write a book.
Tell them.
Look, let me tell you, Miss Hip Hop Star, I have 2 books out right now and a few ebooks. So my first book is hold on, wait. It's a 3-book series, right? And the series is called 40 Acres and a Mill. Okay, because we don't want no mule. Okay, we ain't worry about that no more. Let's that mule and turn into a Lamborghini, or Ferrari, some shit. Okay, so what we want is 40 Acres and a Mill. And the first title off that book series is called Things I Learned from White Folks. Okay, reporting live from my seat at the table, just to say, like, I've been in all these many different arenas, and like Jay-Z say, domino, the fewer blacks up, the higher I go. So it's like I started to put down the things that I had learned from them. Why? Because we live in a society where someone just said they believe that sometimes maybe racism in the past is why our families couldn't really pass down what they wanted to, as far as they were being able to keep up with it or whatever the information was. So I do believe that is the case in some situations, but I also do believe that when we talk about being Black in America, it seems as though you can only get ahead the closest that you assimilate with being white, right? And even when we're younger, they brushing our hair all hard. They want our hair to lay down. They Vaseline our face all up. Don't go outside too long. You're going to get all dark. So it's always about assimilation, how light your skin can be to look like them, how proper your tone can be to act like them. But when y'all going to have credit like them? When y'all gonna have a summer home in the Hamptons like them? That's what I ask. So that's what this book is about. We ain't trying to rob Peter to pay Paul for the rest of our life, and we sure not trying to keep up with the Joneses. I want to know what y'all really doing. I want to know about your mutual funds. I want to know about the trust funds. I want to know about the businesses. I want to know about the stocks. I want to know about that. I don't want to know about how well you can speak the King's English. I don't care about the tea and the crumb cakes. Right. So it's like, that's why I made the book Things I Learned from White Folks, right? Because when you want to know something, you go to the horse's mouth. I probably need to do a part 2 today because I done met so many more other people on the other side. And since they read my book, a couple of white people that's up there was like, gee, when you doing part 2 so I can be in it? You don't need to go down, but it's coming soon.
Okay.
They love it, right? So the follow-up to that, because I have a few more ebooks like Balling on a Budget, different things like that. Just check out my website. But after that, I wrote Burn After Reading, the Black Curriculum, because that book is to debunk all of the myths and to uncover all of the mysteries about Black history. Like in school now they have the gender and identity classes, and they still don't have the stock classes. We still don't know what's going on with kids. Don't know how to pay the bill, don't know how to write no checks. They really don't know how to fill out no job application, do no resume, but they now have their gender and identity classes. So if we're gonna be teaching them all these different things and want them to be well-rounded in the ways of the world, then we need to teach things that they really do need in life. Because this gender and equality class, gender and identity class probably should be an equality class, right? Because like I said before, too many times it's battle of the sexes, because as a youth, we're never taught to have appropriate relationships with people of the opposite sex or gender. But again, they keep honing in on different things, then it probably should be bringing back sex ed and PE and music classes that they've been trying to take away, things like that, to keep the kids' mind on something creative. But I digress, because that's, they can teach what they want, but that's my point. They gonna teach what they want, and I'm teaching what y'all need to know. Okay, so when I wrote Burn After Reading, I put a little bit of everything in there, all kind of conspiracies, a lot of Black thought, like a few things from Hidden Colors I broke down for you deeper. I talked about the holidays and what they really mean. So Burn After Reading, you guys. Things I Learned from White Folks is on Amazon. Burn After Reading you can find on tennisofthetreehouse.com.
Look at that.
Yeah, man, y'all go follow her now. Everything is in her link. She has it organized in a link tree, so you will see
Yes,
it
yes, I
quickly.
do.
Purchase. Let's support. Let's support.
Yes,
She's getting
please do. At Nonie B McKinney. Yes,
there you
please
go.
support. Thank you
I,
guys
Yeah.
I
so much.
so we do this special thing on the Make It Make Sense podcast. We do this game show, right? And this game show tonight, right, it's never been done before on our show. So I'm gonna give you a name, and when I give you that name, you tell me the first word that comes to mind when I give you that name. All right.
Okay.
First, first, first name is Michelle Obama.
Oh, you know what? I love Michelle Obama. She's regal, right? She's regal. Um, there's so much that I can say about Michelle Obama, especially because she actually used to tutor President Obama before they started going out. So, she's about her business and different things like that. Um, Michelle Obama. I will say this. She's a class act to aspire to, especially someone like myself, because she always says, when they go low, we go high. And I just don't subscribe to that, because if they go low, we doing a number limbo. How low can you go? Yeah, can you go down low? We about to catch our slide out of here. Don't go low with me. You gotta play with Michelle Obama, not me.
So, all right. So number two. I got Oprah Winfrey.
Oh my God, you guys are saying all these. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, okay? So on my social media at Nonie B McKinney, y'all, I run this like a whole show, like it's a channel. We have different shows every day. We have Monday meetings of the mind, Tuesday trade up Tuesdays on Always Bet on Black _. Wednesdays we wind down with the Missus and the Mistress, right? And on Thursdays I do conspiracy theory Thursdays, right? Because you guys are asking me about these ladies. The only thing that's playing in my mind
It's a
is the
conspiracy.
stuff I'm about to talk about the conspiracy. Like, so I'm gonna save that for Theory Thursday. I can't say what I was about to say, but okay. So Oprah. Oh my God.
No. You can say.
Y'all, I'm gonna just say this for those who gonna catch Conspiracy Theory Thursday. Oprah did the interview with Meghan Markle, and have y'all been seeing that picture of that ankle bracelet? That house arrest monitor on her leg through that book. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna just say that for those who like conspiracies. Follow my page so you can talk about it on Thursday. But back to the politically correct answer. Oh, Oprah, yeah.
Yo, she's Oprah.
I love Oprah. I mean, who doesn't love Oprah? Like, Oprah came a long way. Like, for one, look, she's not the skin color they was looking for, right? Because I got a good little tan going on, so I look kind of bronze, but I'm usually high yellow. But you can still see the red undertones, right? Okay, but Oprah is a more cocoa brown, right? And also she was overweight at the time. So it's like she broke all kind of barriers to get to where she's at. You know what I'm saying? Because it was that power. It was what she was talking about. It was her not giving up. Like, she'd have been fired from all kind of jobs until she finally got her own show and did her own thing, right? And so I love Oprah. She went on to do the girls' school in Africa. She went on, now she has her own network, Oprah Winfrey Network. And it's like, these are all the things that I aspire to. That's why I run my social media like I do now, and need to get back over to YouTube, because she has her own network, her channel, where she can play different things throughout the day. The things that they choose to play, they need to add some of my stuff up in there, because a lot of that stuff is just, well, it was Tyler Perry, and now it's like just some TLC type of stuff. But it's like, for me, I think it's time. I think our people are ready for something real. I feel like our people are ready for something real. And Oprah has gotten to a point where she's just an icon. Like, she's gotten certain people, they get to a point where now they're just an icon or they're just an idol. Like, they're not pushing the envelope anymore. They're not trying to challenge the status quo. So, things of that nature. But yes, she's had a beautiful run and I love it.
It's probably going to add to your conspiracy theory, but
Yeah.
Miss Kamala Harris, Vice
Oh my
President.
God. You know what? Conspiracy Central. Y'all wrong for playing this game with me because y'all should just feel my heart beating fast. Like, don't say it. Don't start saying conspiracies. Okay. So Miss Kamala Harris. You know what? I like what she stands for. I like what she stands for because for one, she is her family's background, I will say they're from India. Her mom's from India and her father is from Jamaica. Now, I visited India in 2017 and they are people of color. But just like any other society, they have a caste issue and a classism issue where it's about the light brights, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to see her grow up, well, she grew up at first in Canada and then she came over here to America and, did her whole thing, the black schools and the sororities and all of that stuff. Sometimes if we're speaking from a conspiracy standpoint, I feel like a lot of these people are plants. But if we're speaking just from a black excellence standpoint and just speaking of Kamala, of all of her work, she shows a good representation of what we all want to be like, even when people attacked her about what she did as a DA, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they said that she had a lot of people arrested, right?
Mm-hmm.
They said even she's padded some people's files. They say that there have been people that she kept in jail even when new evidence surfaced that could have let them free, right? But if we're talking about women in business, she commented on this. And we take it how we want to, but she commented. She said, as a young woman, a prosecutor, a DA, you in business, that's your career.
Right.
She thought she was doing everything that she needed to do to get herself where she wanted to go. So if that meant I gotta lock all y'all up for me to be the DA of the year, the prosecutor of the century, then that's what I was thinking. And it's wrong. It's wrong still. But if we're talking about people who are in business, I'm glad that you brought up her name because even when they talk about the Holocaust and different things of that nature, it's like people are always doing what was their job. People are always doing what they were told to do. And I know that I'm challenged as well. Like, for instance, and this to help people tie this in, Donald Trump, when he was building a wall. Now, I think that's immoral. Like we're way far past that time. The Great Wall of China and all the Berlin Wall, like you're late, right? But at the same time, if they building a wall and I find out one of the companies and they trading on the stock market, if you think I'm not about to buy some shares or buy options, then you're crazy. And those are the things where, when people be like, oh my God, the love of money make people evil, right? Because then you have to sometimes come to a point where you wonder if you're going to compromise your morals. It's a lot of stuff I don't believe in. I don't believe that people should be taking these vaccines, but if you think that I'm not going to buy a call option on Johnson & Johnson because another 100,000 doses, then you're crazy.
You're crazy, right?
Yeah. So, that's really what I can say about, is it Kamala or Kamala? Because I've been saying it for so long. Once they show me how to say it, I forgot again. But I really would like to see something good from this administration. I was skeptical from the start. And it doesn't seem to be starting off right. But I will say this, just like Obama, they said when Obama was in office, he didn't do anything for the Black community. That's what people say. But I will say this. What he stood for and what he represented, it did something all on his own. And though we up here like, oh, Kamala is not a Black woman. And even more so, she's Indian, she's Jamaican. She didn't grow up with her Jamaican father. He left the home. She grew up, her mom remarried Indian man and they lived in Canada. She moved to the United States, went to college, Black HBCU, pledged, what was it? Right. And so it's like, and married a white man. Mm-hmm. So it's like,
he don't live every life almost.
What'd you say?
She don't about live every life that you can live. Like,
yes, put a bunch of niggas in jail. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, look, what she stands for and the things that you can do, somebody can look to that and really be inspired. But we're talking about when you take the rose-colored glasses off, shit do stink. That's all I got to say about that one.
I agree with the plant analogy, by the way.
Yeah, okay,
We can
yeah.
definitely talk more about that, but I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, see, one day y'all gonna have to have a conspiracy day, and I'm gonna just come here and just blow everybody's mind. They
Yeah.
gonna be like, take them off of that now.
Cut the show. Get them off. They're gonna
Yes,
go
so
crazy.
it's like, look, it may be some stuff on the stock market and some companies like that, like I said, that have made me think like, oh, am I gonna compromise my morals for that? But at the same time, when it comes down to my people and it comes down to real people in real time and me getting in the trenches, I'm not gonna compromise for that. I'm never gonna stand up and even if people are doing wrong, like I'm against the prison system. Do I think that some people are very animalistic and need to be put in cages? Okay, well, I mean, for how long? Because y'all claim that y'all was gonna rehabilitate them. Jail was once upon a time masquerading as a rehabilitation center. And even once upon a time, you could get your GED and some college credits, or maybe even some certificates or a college degree, right? And then they went into a lot of the jails and the prisons and they discontinued those things. Right. So it's a farce. You know, it's just slavery. It's just modern day slavery because even a lot of those companies that work with the prisons trade on the stock market. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, I mean, we just got to pay attention to the things that's going on around us. And the only thing I have to say about the Kamala thing is that I just don't support the police or anything that has to do with locking our people up and throwing away the key. Now, if you have some way to rehabilitate them, because we all have fallen short, we all done got lost, we all done did something wrong, we all probably could have went to jail, you know, all of that. So, and sometimes some people, you just need to be in a box. You need some time to yourself. You wouldn't be able to think otherwise. You know, sometimes God will sit you down. We don't know you. We don't know your situation or your story. But at the same time, for somebody to just throw you away, you know, that's not good. That's not good. So that's my only thing about her.
Agreed.
Well, those are the only people I really want to talk about today.
Okay.
But I do want to thank you for coming on our show and blessing us so much with so much information, so much goodness, so much entertainment.
Thank you.
It was definitely a blessing. Sways, what you got for her?
Man, like I said, man, I'm blown away. It's an honor to be in her presence. It's a pleasure to have her here, and she dropped countless amounts of gems today. So I really hope everybody tuned in. I need you all to go follow Miss Nonie. Please do that. And I'm sure if you all have any questions, she will answer them. But definitely,
almost definitely.
Yeah, hit the link in her bio, check her out, read the books, and you've inspired me today. You know, and I just want to say thank you. And I feel like we made it make sense.
Yes.
I feel like we made it make sense today. And I just want to thank you once again for inspiring the young ladies out there who are looking at this and who want to be in these positions, in entrepreneurship positions, because you're a great role model. You're a leader. You know,
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, you guys. I just want to say to the ladies before I go, they like to say it's a man's world. You know, they forget James Brown didn't just stop at that part. You know, it's a man's world, but it wouldn't be anything without a woman or a girl. I want y'all to understand that we do have the power, and a lot of times, like I was just talking to my husband, like even when I worked in radio, I had to understand inside the radio station was corporate America, right? And then outside it was the Hunger Games, you know, may the odds be ever in your favor when you're trying to figure out really how to make it make sense, right? But I want to tell women that it's okay to be smart. Like you say, sometimes they're looking at you like, well, that's not the thing to do, so that's not right. And it's like people constantly told me, oh, you're doing too many things. It's not going to work because you're doing too many things at one time. If you just focus on one thing, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and that's true. You can get somewhere faster. Look at the Rihannas, the Chris Browns, the Beyonce. They're doing one thing. The Michael Jacksons, they did one thing. They like to be a triple threat. They do their music, they sing, they act, whatever. That's their thing. And you put your $10,000 and you become a master, and that's going to be amazing. But at the same time, if you are a person who is just all these things working inside of you and it's working on your nerves because you're not working on it, you got to get that out. You have to get that out. And it's like now I'm sitting where, you know, in 5 years, where most people can only dream to be at in 20, you know? And it's like, all because I kept on going. And now those things are built. Those things are built. That talking is over. They have nothing to say. Talk is cheap. And I'm the type to let money talk for me, right? So it's like, I want my ladies to be empowered, because a lot of times we can get lost. Not even much just in jobs and how we think we're supposed to present ourselves, but also in relationships or feeling insecure about being in these male-dominated arenas. Especially, me with trucking. I mean, no matter where I went, radio, film, trucking, I'm like, where are all the ladies at? And it's like, I just want to let y'all know that you can do it. And sometimes you're going to be called a ball buster. Sometimes you're going to be called a bee, all these different things. And it's just like, oh, well, they're hating. Because if it was a man, they'd be all on his schlong talking about how he the big homie and he a boss and he this and he that. And it's just like, at the end of the day, I'm a boss too. I'm a boss too. We talking about LeBron, we talking about Kobe, but nobody said shit about Serena. I'm a boss too, So it's like we said earlier, right? So it's like, I just want my ladies to be encouraged, and I want my ladies to be empowered, because you can be beautiful and you can even use your feminine wiles at times, but you don't have to ever compromise your morals. That's people in general, but women particularly, you don't have to compromise who you are. You don't have to stop being feminine. You don't have to take sexual harassment, anything of that nature, right? So I just want to say that to my ladies. And before I go, I just want to make sure I do my little plug-in. Y'all ready for my plugs? Okay. So I am Nonie B McKinney. Follow me on Instagram at Nonie B McKinney. I'm also on Facebook by the same name. You can also follow. Oh, yep. Oh, look below. That's fire. That's fire. I like this setup y'all got going on up here. What is this? This is nice. This is nice. Y'all got going on fancy and stuff. Yes, so follow me. And once you get to at Nonie B McKinney, then you will see all my other pages. You will see the women's page, which is the Mrs. and the Mistress, because I am a sexy hot wife that believes that marriage is not boring. And a lot of times they've painted marriage in such a terrible light, because they try to say women get a man and don't be up to par or whatever. So I'm just teaching women, look, hot wife training, because they say they say we get a man and we go sit down, like we get fat and all that. Y'all wrong for that. We don't do that. But anyway, on the Mrs. and the Mistress, we're talking about how you can be a lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets, and you can, every woman has two sides. And then of course you have Tennis of the Treehouse. That's my spiritual store. That's the page for tennisoftheTreehouse.com. So go to at Tennis of the Treehouse to follow them. And last but most certainly not least, we have Always Bet on Black _. And that is where you can find Wolves on Black Wall Street, the stock course. All right. Don't forget that I am an author. So I do have my book series, 40 Acres in the Mill. And the first title is Things I Learned from White Folks, reporting live from my seat at the table. The second is Burn After Reading, the Black curriculum. So make sure that y'all pick that up. And if you're interested in writing a book, reach out to me, because I do have a course, Publish and Profit in 60 Days. And my first author, she's up, Miss Marshall Wise Kennedy. She's my first author that actually completed my program. And she has a book out, yes. And that's for the ladies too. It's Women's Month, and it's called To Hoe or Not to Hoe. How she survived being labeled a hoe in this patriarchal society. How she survived the double standard of being labeled a hoe, because we got to say that now. And so she addressed some key topics, from being a young woman, the different things that we go through coming up in puberty, and even moments of, like I said, sexual harassment or sexual abuse, surviving that, coming out on the other side, taking back your power. So that's To Hoe or Not to Hoe by Marshall Wise Kennedy. That is on Amazon as well. So thank you again. Thank you so much for inviting me to make it make sense. I love this.
We might have to have her on the show as well.
Yes.
Link her up with us, and so we can promote and give her that exposure that she, for sure.
Oh my gosh, that just look how God works. Look at God, because I love this. And with the Turning Page Publishing, I am looking for other Black authors. You know what I'm saying? I already have D.L. Sparks. She's one of these authors like Eric Jerome Dickey, different things like that. I have a homegirl, Kendra G. She has Abstinence is Cool. So I know I have Shanae Hall. Why should I have to act like a lady and think like a man? She wrote that after Steve Harvey in a response to him. So it's a lot of Black power. It's a lot of women in business, women authors that I know that we doing some good stuff. And more, look, the more the merrier. I'm more than happy to connect everyone.
Tell her tap in with us.
Please.
Thank you so much. So everyone follow me. Make sure you pick up a copy of my book and make sure that you get any of the courses. Again, I'm teaching y'all how to live a rich life. Look, it's just a mindset shift. You can live the life of your dreams. You don't have to be robbing Peter to pay Paul and none of that other stuff. Like, I don't like to brag, but I'm just saying, I feel as though I live a pretty great life. And regardless of if I have all of the material things or anything of that nature that people believe makes someone successful, I am a success, not just the businesses, and like I said, not just the material things, but in my heart and in my mind. Yeah, my heart and my mind. I'm already successful. I'm already a boss. I'm already a beast. And every day I rise up and I prove that. Okay, so y'all gotta be prepared to beat the old you. Be prepared to beat the old you.
Make sure y'all go follow her.
Please, man. Please
follow her.
Did her thing. Young lady, man, and I see so much in the future for you, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Swayze and QB. Yes. Thank you. And hey, hopefully you guys will see me good. We'll have me back on. So
we will. Hey, you always a welcome guest.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Always. Y'all make sure y'all follow us as well at MIMC_podcast on IG. And we made it make sense today, man. What you think?
Hey, man, it made great sense. Once again, go to the YouTube. I feel like we made some millions today too, man.
Yeah, man.
But follow the YouTube page. Make it make sense. Please hit that subscribe button. And y'all tune in. Y'all stay locked in with us. And once again, get in contact with us if you all would love to be on the show, because we would love to have you.
All right, y'all. Be safe, man. We love y'all. Be safe. Have a great rest of y'all week. Thank you, Miss Nonie B. We out.
Yes. No problem. Anytime.